Welcome to today's video. We are actually kind of close to Yokohama Air Base here in Japan. I'm stopping at a friend of mine's little workshop here. You guys may know him, especially if you watch Formula D in the USA or in Japan. There's no other than Robbie Nishida. And he's got some pretty cool projects on the go that I wanted to stop by and check out. And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. He's got a nice collection in here. This thing's pretty cool too. This is like his kind of seat time stallion. He's doing some work on that, which we'll catch up in a moment. But there's a nice 32 here too that kind of looks like a beer can. There's a bit of a story on that one as well. He used to live at Ebisu, so hopefully it'll be running again soon. But for now, let's go catch up with Robbie and see what he's up to. SAMMIT here from the future. I'm currently editing the video and I just wanted to interrupt to just say to you guys, please do not stop watching. This next section, Robbie and myself, we get into a little bit of a tangent, and some of the stuff that he says is just pure gold. And I think, you know, for the car community and everything like that, it's so important that each and every one of us hear what he has to say. I think it is some of the most solid advice that I've heard, and I would love to know your feedback as well, so tell me in the comment section if you agree with me. But yeah, I think it's just really important that everyone listens to everything that Robbie has to say, where he's at in his career right now, everything he's gone through and stuff like that. I just think it's epic. Anyways, listen to everything we say and talk about. It is long-winded, but I think if you appreciate the car community and you're in it for the long haul, that you're gonna really find what we're about to talk about super helpful. So let's get back to the video. So Robbie, what are you up to today?
Hi guys. Long time no see. No. It's hot.
It is very hot here.
Actually, today is not that bad.
No.
Like,
last couple of days were bad.
Yeah, it's I'm just working on this car, the Fuga, just trying to get it ready for the track. It came to me once and I sold it to somebody else and they never did anything with it, so I bought it back because I wanted the automatic car. I'm old and I'm lazy, so I figured shifting is too much work for me. So I figured the automatic would be better.
By the way, Robbie's really not that old. He's in his young 40s, but this thing is cool, man. So, like, this is pretty much like your simple seat time stallion, right?
Yeah, this is one of those no maintenance, probably just do oil changes here and there,
yeah.
Jump in it, go.
Yeah, all throttle work,
yeah.
Get a hydro working, that's about it?
And also I kind of want to get other people into it, like let's say if you go to a Matsuri or if you go to like a track day event, and if somebody's girlfriend or wife or their kids,
yeah.
if it's, you know, safe and legal there, it's like, you know, might as well just go, hop in and go, put it in low, step on the gas and
I love that.
some donuts or something, yeah.
So good. So, do you mind if I open the boot and show them some of your finest work?
Yeah, so I've been fabbing for 20-something years, and this is probably one of the best wiring job and everything that I've done.
The sarcasm, I love it. So these pipes, I think you were telling me they came off a Jimny?
Yeah, they're
super cool.
So they're for a 660cc times 2. This car is 4500cc, so it doesn't add up.
No,
but, you know,
it sounds pretty good. We might start it up a little later on. You guys can hear it, but I'm sure you can gather like everything's cut out here. Like it's all flimsy and stuff. It's just as much weight reduction as possible. These things, what do they weigh? Like 2 ton or something like that stock?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's like close to 2 ton.
Yeah.
Stock. So I still got a lot to go. I could do windows and all that stuff. I'll get around to that.
Yeah. Oh really? You're gonna go and do the glass as well?
Oh yeah. I mean, might as well do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll get around to it. Like let's say if I have extra pieces of like, you know, plexiglass or something to lay around or something, I'll probably use it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as of now, I'm just doing things where that's free.
Yeah. That's it. No man, it's cool. I love it when like people just go the extra mile on simple cars like this, because I mean, like you said, like I think you were saying before, like there's pretty much not much you haven't driven. So at this point, you just want to go out and drive and have fun in anything, right?
So I also bought a K car that I'm probably going to put together later. But like we were talking earlier, well, before we were talking, you guys, we're talking about having space and having all these projects. And I think it's a guy thing where I think men are kind of slow, so they're just like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then you start collecting everything, and the next thing you notice, you're like, financially and time-wise, you're like, do I have time for that? It's like, no, but you're still going to get it anyways.
Yeah.
And you'll just worry about it later.
Yeah.
But yes, I want something that's, I love, like, I got the Hachiroku going at the same time. I got to do that.
Look at that in a sec.
I'm trying to pick up another street car so I can go and drive to the track and drive too. But at the same time, you know, cars like this where you can just hop in it and just change tires and go and not have to worry about many, you know, extra parts or moving parts. Yeah. That's like every man's dream.
Yeah, it literally is like just having something super reliable, and then like even if you crash it, you're like, Shogunai, like who cares, right? Yeah, it's a nice feeling, and it's something you can have fun in too, which is, and you can like let others have fun in too and not care. That's another thing too.
So that's like, we talked about it before, but I don't mind driving people's cars, but at this point, I remember a long time ago when our cars used to be free. It was like, oh, you wrecked it or something blew up. Here you go, have another one, have another chassis. But now everything's getting kind of expensive, so it's really hard to say. Like, for instance, if you borrow somebody's missile and it's an R154 in it,
exactly,
you blow the tranny,
yeah,
they're not going to tell you to pay for it. But at the same time, it's like,
yeah, you feel bad.
You know? So it's like, oh, I should try to pay, but you're like, well, I drove it only 5 laps, and you feel bad, you know.
Yeah.
So I try to, even though on some of the videos I'll hop in other people's cars and go, but that's like, I'm like, oh, let's lower the boost, or hey, let's put more air in the tires, you know. Just so the car doesn't get, you know, beat to death. But.
Yeah, I feel that. So for people that don't know who you are, Robbie, give us like a quick run through of your driving career, what you do now, and where you see yourself in 5 years.
I'm just some old dude who speaks English in Japan. That like cars. No. I'm I don't even know how I ended up doing what I'm doing now, but then I used to, you know, go togeing just like everybody else. You know, and it's just a step where that's the trend. That's how it used to be. So everybody used to street race. Went through that, started doing a little bit of competition, ended up having an opportunity to go to the States once, and, you know, found some friends there, and then they brought me back again, did well, then started to pick up sponsors, and next thing you know, it's like, you know, got myself a full ride for a few years after a couple of years, you know. And I retired maybe two seasons ago, so maybe almost 3 years ago. And I retired. And meanwhile, I was starting to do judging stuff in Japan, so I, you know, figured that I would put my knowledge back into drifting. And this might sound like corny, I guess, but I figured that I grew up, and like I was saying, I'm the old man in it too, because, you know, like you're 30 years old and there's a lot of younger guys in there, but I think we owe it to the sport, because number one, I would have never been doing this if I wasn't drifting. I would have never met you, and all these people watching this thing probably would have never seen me on screen if I wasn't doing this. So I figured that drifting is something that it's not just a sport or hobby, it's almost like a lifestyle that I kind of saw as like a big change in my life. I mean, my life revolves around drifting, so I figured that I owe it to the sport. So I try to help out doing, you know, competitions, or, you know, I want to do something fun to kind of show, you know, people how it is and stuff like that. And, you know, like I make videos and stuff like that too, just to show like, hey, this is kind of how it is. And it's not all about high-end stuff. It's not all about super ghetto stuff. You got guys like us where it's, or guys like me where it's, you know, I'm 40 something years old, and some people are already in the higher food chain of the financial situation of their lives than me, even if they're younger, or maybe they're lower. But at the same time, just kind of want to show people, hey, look, it's fun. Let's have fun, kind of. And, you know, the competition stuff is there. You need that too, but at the same time, keeping it fun and all that other stuff is important too. And I think sometimes you get kind of lost. Because I know a lot of the guys that get competitive, maybe sometimes they forget about that too. And I think I was one of them too when I was competing. Things weren't fun, or, you know, I wasn't so happy anymore, you know. And then you realize when you're not doing it anymore, and when you just jump in a car, I mean, for instance, like this piece of crap, it's like, whoa, that was fun. And I don't have to sit there and drive all day. I can just make a few laps and be like, oh, that was cool, you know. And there's nothing to prove. Like, you can be faster than me, I can be slow, I could spin out all the time, I could wreck, I could do whatever I want, but nobody has a say in it because it's all what I've done, you know? So this is what's cool about, I guess, you go around the whole loop and you're just back to where it started. And that's why I started drifting. So I'm trying to do what I used to do in the Corollas, and this just sucks because everything costs 5,000 times more than
It's so true. So right now you are judging for FD Japan. Commentating and judging. And you still do some stuff for FD USA as well, right?
Yeah, so up until last year, I was the driver's judge steward for FD. How can I say it? So I did last year and then the season before. So right after I retired, because I turned 40, so I retired. And 2 years after that, I was doing, the FD stuff. And I was supposed to be one of the judges this year, but because of this whole mess, it's really hard unless somebody changes their laws, because I have to quarantine for 2 weeks, this and that. I don't even know if I can make it because I have to do the Japan rounds and I have to do the US rounds.
Yeah.
And some of them are back to back, so it's impossible.
Yeah.
Unless they do like remote or something. So who knows what's going to happen. I'm just sitting here waiting to see what the ideas are. And I think they're throwing the idea around about either remote or have somebody do the rounds that I can't make it to. So that might be the whole season,
Okay, that'll be interesting.
And what you probably want to know is, what is this place? That's another question that I also ask myself. I don't know. So you're probably in the same shoes as I was many years ago. I used to work at a garage, and I had many friends that had space here and there, and then everything would be, oh, can I leave this here? So, oh, can I leave this car here? And I would ask my people at work, oh, can I leave this here? And all this other stuff. And then one day I was just like, man, I was probably like 30 something, and I was like, man, I feel bad. And everybody's like, oh, I don't mind. But at the same time, it's like, I kind of feel bad having to do all this and have everything spread around. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to borrow a place and put all my stuff together. And I started doing that, and then it kind of went, and to be honest, most of the things that I have in here, everything was pretty much given to me.
Yeah.
Toolboxes and all this. I mean, there's some things that I bought, but it was like, oh, I have a place, and somebody's like, oh yeah, you need a engine hoist. Here you go. And then same as somebody else, like another younger guy opened up a shop. He borrowed a place, and I was like, oh, I have 2 engine hoists. You can have one, And I think that's how it should be passed on. Yeah. Like the lift I got for free.
Wow.
I just had to get it taken out and brought over here.
That's pretty cool.
That costs a little bit of money too, but then they're like, hey, shop's closing. You want it? Yeah, I'll take it. And well, I paid for that, but then the one I had before that was given to me. All these racks and everything was like, oh, somebody's moving. Yeah. Do you need this? Oh, I have a jack. Do you want it? And it was one of those things. So kind of looks like a shop, but at the same time, it was one of those. Back to the whole, hey, if I didn't drift and if I didn't know all these people, I probably wouldn't have been able to go this far with. Yeah.
I think that's what I love about drifting too, is just the relationships you build in the community as well.
Yeah. See, the community's small, so don't screw anybody over.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Don't burn a bridge with anyone, because it will come around bite you.
I think I'm lucky. I was pretty good at not burning any bridges. Yeah. And maybe that's why I'm still doing what I'm doing, I guess.
Still around kicking. Man, you talk like you're 80 years old. Get out of here.
No, but we have to, though. Look, think about it. This is my theory. So when I was younger, I went to this drift competition when I was 21. Yeah. And I probably must have been drifting only a year or two. Then I did okay, and I podiumed. And then the classes were separated, where it was 22 and under, 23 to 26, then 26 to 29, and then 30 and above. So when I was in that competition, I was like, man, looking at the guys that were 30, and I'm like, oh my God, they're still drifting? What a loser. Really, I thought that,
Hey, I'm 30.
No, but that's what I thought. That's what drifting was back in the days. I didn't think it was going to become like this, Yeah. And they were still drifting. So when you think about it, even though when I was 21, I thought they were super old already when they're 30, I'm 40, man. Dude, just imagine what a 19-year-old guy would look at me and be like, dude, he's halfway in the graveyard, he's almost dead. So,
I think it's good though, because these days it seems like it doesn't matter how old you are, you can get into the sport, which is pretty cool. Maybe competitive is a lot more difficult the older you get. That's definitely true. I think that's the same with everything, right? Yeah. But
well, that's why I think it's different when you're old and when you have so much knowledge and you're you have a shop or you're passing it down to people and growing it, and doing things. I think that's really wise. When you get older, you get wiser and you get a lot of connections. Yeah. You should use that so the younger guys will want to do it.
Yeah.
But sometimes I see like you go to competitions, like the smaller competitions, and you got the older guys. They're like they just keep coming back, but they don't do anything from there. And to me, it's just in the way of the guys that are trying to get above.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to say, hey, just give them some space, or I don't know, introduce them to something, or give them some knowledge, and help the guys, the younger guys, grow, because it's really hard for them to kind of just come out of nowhere and have all these ideas. Where we were lucky, where the older guys that we had,
for real.
Well, we probably didn't have much people in the internet to tell us all this stuff. So I think they have to be wiser and kind of give them the space so the sport will grow a little bit more instead of saying me.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't compete anymore either. I mean, I think I can still do it, and I would love to, but at the same time, if I did, then that's one less sponsor that can be happy with somebody younger, with somebody who has possibilities, somebody who has newer ideas. Like, for instance, if I was doing this forever, or if I was a sponsor with a tire manufacturer, and then they had a possibility to hook up with you, say if you wanted to compete. If they had space for only one guy, and you were the next one in line, if I didn't get out of the way, they're like, oh, well, we've been with them for a long time. We're comfortable with them. Let's just stick with them. And you lose an opportunity where you could have done so much better with, social media wise and all this other stuff. That's why I get on with all the older guys. Like, hey, if you're going to be in it, be a little bit more proactive and grow it, so guys that are in line can, do it.
Get their chance as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they did, you know what I mean?
That's why, like, when you see, like, shared sponsors and introduce sponsored, like, newer drivers, the younger drivers getting introduced to newer sponsors and all this other stuff, I think that's something cool. And I really think that maybe one day every team that's, like, super old school should have another young driver with them, so they have a two-car team. So it's always older guy, younger guy. Yeah,
and then it all kind of passes down, right?
And everybody gets an opportunity. And at the same time, the old guys just don't disappear. The old guys get to be team owners or managers or, even judges or people who works at the competition, and there's many things that they need all the knowledge and the people they can get. So if that, one day is going to become like that, and I think maybe the other racing world is probably like that, but drifting is just young.
Drifting's still young, and I think that's definitely the ecosystem we want to see.
Yeah.
So this here is Robbie's Hachiroku. And Robbie, why don't you give us a quick rundown? What is your purpose with this?
It's a rusty POS. No, I think I grew up driving Corollas or A86s, so I just figured I just need one to keep. And then every time I get a car, I'll drive it for a little bit, get rid of it. So it's like, you know what, this one I'm just going to go all out, kind of do like a semi-restore and make it look clean and, pass it down to my son so I could watch him sell it or something. I don't know.
So I guess, like, what are your plans engine bay? You just kind of mentioned, like, you just kind of want to restore it a little bit. Like, are you going to do anything cool, turbo or ITBs? Or I
am really, like, I'm going back and forth right now. It's like I want to do something different. Yeah. Because it's supposed to look super good on the outside. But at the same time, I kind of want to keep it traditional. So I might do like a 4AG but 20 valve or something like that.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
You never know. It's always timing and everything. Somebody has something or
that's it. Let's do a quick walk around, and it's relatively, like, out of all the 86s I've seen, it's not too bad. I mean, it's got all the rust in the usual places. You can see that you've been repairing some stuff here, which I think I even watched in some of your videos, which is also a good time to introduce Robbie's YouTube channel, guys. If you're interested in any of the cars and the stuff
Don't watch it unless you have time. I don't want you to be disappointed.
Oh, you already got the boot all, the trunk all painted? That's nice. So,
the past couple days has been, or a couple weeks has been raining, so I wanted to actually paint the inside.
Okay.
I'm slowly getting ready for it. But, I'm just waiting for sunny days, and now it's been sunny lately. So, probably paint this next week, or inside next week.
Yeah. But this is going to be a really cool project, man.
Yeah, I mean, I just want it to be a good looking, it's already registered, it's got shotgun on it. So as soon as I put it all back together, it's just gonna, I'm gonna be able to drive it. So it's one of those, I just want something to drive to an event or something.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't even know why I have it.
Have you got a goal of when you want to have this thing back together and running?
I think I was gonna do the inside of the car. Well, the goal was to try to finish it and make it look kind of decent by the end of this month. But that's only a couple weeks away, so probably not. Maybe by the middle of next month.
Okay.
Because I think it's all just cosmetic.
Yeah.
I did pretty much all the rust, so what I'm going to do is paint the inside, put it back together. I got to put the front end on it and sand it down and take it to the paint booth and paint the outside of it. And yeah.
So hopefully next year at 8/6 Day we might see you ripping it.
Maybe in 2022.
2022, okay. He gives himself an extra year.
Yep. Don't want to, yeah. I always say things and I don't do it, so.
Yeah. Now, this 32 is pretty cool. What's the story on the GTR?
Well, this car is here so I could put grills on it. So, you know. Now, 32s are cool. And this isn't my car, it's my dad's actually. And he likes cars, but at the same time, we were talking one day, I was like, yo, it's like, why don't you just pick one up? Because it's going to become super crazy expensive. You're not going to be able to have one anymore. And he's like, oh, yeah, it sounds like a good idea. So we found this before the whole price gain happened. So, I mean, he got it at a fairly okay price. And I promised him that I'll leave it under so it doesn't get rained on and, you know, the sun on it. So it just sits here. I mean, it starts and runs. It's registered. It's just, you know,
storage.
It's kind of like an investment type of thing, yeah. It's really nice. I mean, it's fast. One of these days, I want to take this out to Tsukuba, and the way it is, I'll probably get something that's as close as possible to stock. It's got a muffler on it, but other than that,
yeah,
it's stock. So I want to go and do the time attack and compare it with the time what it first ran when it first came out, and see how far off it is.
See how far off it is. That's gonna be a cool video. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be really cool. So your dad's into cars too, then?
Oh, he kind of is, but he doesn't really do modify. He used to do a little bit of Gymkhana and.
Oh, cool.
Like with the stock car, so it's not like he went hardcore into it, but he just, you know, I think it's just like any other young guys who once were into cars and, you know, they like to go and drive around fast and
yeah. Okay. So. That's pretty cool. Always a fan of the good old 32s. Now over here is probably one of my favorite series of the Skyline. So there's an R30 for those uncultured people. This thing is pretty epic, and I'm super jealous that you own this. Yeah, wow. Even the interior is pretty good. I mean, it's a little bit like as you would expect for a car this age, you know, the original seats and stuff, but this thing is nice. Tell us about it. What is it like? Is it the GTSR, or what are we looking at?
This is just the RS. They had the RS Turbo and the RS, so this has got the FJ20 non-turbo in it.
Okay.
So, I was 16. I grew up in Japan, but on a military base, so you can get your license on the base when you're 16. So I got my license when I was 16, and my brother used to drive this thing, and then he sold it to me for like $500, and that was my first car.
Wow.
So, and after a while, maybe like 3-4 years ago, I saw this. I found this on a nearby lot, and I talked to the guy, and it was reasonable price. And I was like, you know, it's probably going to get expensive one day. So I was like, I just need to buy it and keep it. So. You know, obviously when you're in high school, all we did was like cut our springs and weld like pipes to the exhaust and, you know, drove around bouncing around, you know, and just speeding. But I kind of want to build it so that it's the way I want it.
Yep.
So I kind of bought it to, you know, one day get around to it and saved it. But as of now, I haven't done anything to it for 3-4 years. So it just sits here.
Oh, man. It's so cool to see one of these because this is in pretty decent condition too.
Oh, wait. These are expensive lawn ornaments.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's.
Okay, so they don't run, they don't drive, they're just an empty shell?
Oh, they run, they drive. It's just that they don't serve the purpose because you never get driven.
See, I'm the kind of guy that when I get a car and I build it or I buy a car, I buy it to use it. So whether it's, you know, like a GTR, like I'd totally be taking that to the track a lot and stuff like that. Like I'm just that kind of person. I can't stand seeing a car like just sitting and collecting dust.
No. Remember we were talking about the space?
Yeah, that's true as well. When you have it, you start filling it in. And I don't have my own like big shop like this yet, but I'm sure once it does, it'll start off empty, and then sooner or later it'll end up like this.
You hurry up and rent a place. I'll give you like maybe 2-3 years.
Yeah.
There's gonna be this much dust on it.
Yeah. I don't doubt it.
I'm gonna film your place.
Yeah.
Like, yo, look at. Hey, what's this? What's this? You know?
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna happen. I know it will. Oh man, this thing is clean.
So, I don't know what Nissan was thinking when they made this car. Look at this gap they have in the engine. So they were like, you know what? Because I think these chassis were made with the L6s in the first place, so the engines probably came to here. So I don't even know what they wanted to do. Like, I don't know why they didn't move this back, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of weird. I just think maybe they were like, you know what, everyone's going to put RBs in these, so.
Hey, that's crazy, because I always thought that I'm just going to leave it at FJ or even put an SR in it. But my goal is to put like a RB25 NA or something in it, because number one, the NA 6-cylinder sounds super cool. Yeah. And they sound tough.
So true.
Number two, you know, if it's NA, it's not going to blow up. Very simple, it's cheap. That's my goal, but come talk to me in like 15 years, maybe I'll
15 years. Yeah, not gonna lie, this thing's clean, super jealous. Oh, it's even got AC. Damn.
Yep.
Damn.
That's not gonna stay in there.
So I've been distracting Robbie enough, so I'm gonna let him get to work back on his Fugu. But on this side of the shop is actually one of Robbie's friends who does a lot of fabrication work. He's actually a pretty renowned driver in FD, and he's kind of like sharing shop space with him, and that's another one of his builds there. And I think he literally just drove this car. So Komatsu-san's side of the shop here, which is pretty cool. Obviously he's not here, so we don't get to like kind of get an in-depth look of everything. But still, how cool is this FD JZX 100 here? Very cool. And I'm not sure what's under here, and obviously we're not going to pry, but it's just cool to see all this kind of stuff here. Like all the parts and whatnot.
Shop. What do you think it is?
Yeah.
JZX.
I mean, I'd expect to see an S chassis here somewhere, but...
I know. Damn, I need...
You need to fix that. Now I just added to the problem.
Oh, man. Why did you come today?
I'm sorry, man. Over here, this is a 32 GTST that Robbie bought. How many years ago did you buy this?
It was a while back.
A while back?
Yeah.
He got this thing, it was at Ebisu, and he only just recently picked it up and brought it here. I'm not sure what his plans are yet with it or for it, but I think yeah, I don't think its future is bright. Like, yeah, that's the fuel tank all hit and damaged there, so who knows if this thing will run again. Hopefully it does. Hopefully you can just push this out, get this thing running, and maybe have a bit more fun with it up at Ebisu or something. But I think its future will probably just be a missile and only a missile. But yeah, it looks promising. It looks like it has potential, I'm not gonna lie. You know, RB20 still got a front mount. This could be a beer can for somebody. I'm not gonna lie, I'm tempted. How much did you pay for this? How much do you want for it? I don't even have a shop yet and I'm already adding to the problem. What have you done? Very cool. Looks like we got a Sora here as well. Yo, what is this place? That's sick. Dude, old V8 stuff. It's very cool. I don't know what's going on in that shop over there. There's some really cool old school stuff going on. That's sick. Ooh, what is that thing there? That's cool. All right, we may need to come back here at some point and check this place out. That's a whole nother level of cool. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of Robbie's shop here. He's also got the whole Formula Drift Japan guys. They're renting out everything here, and that's where they store everything for the comps and stuff like that, which is kind of hilarious. He can't get away from his work at all. Time warping ahead, many hours later, and we are only leaving Robbie's shop now. See you later, guys. Oh man, such good chats. All right, once we get home, we'll wrap stuff up, but man, so good. Back home now, and I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video and you really enjoyed listening to some wisdom from Gandalf Robbie. But anyways, all of that aside, I really do think that a lot of the things that Robbie had to say in today's video was just some gold and some wisdom that I think a lot of us could take on board. So that aside, guys, I'm gonna wrap up the video here. Smash that like button, write us a comment, and go check out Robbie's channel. Link is in the description, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's vlog. Peace out. Ciao, mata.